There are actually a few sectors that we can look through. One of it is utilities.
Investors to also look at the bigger picture rather than just focus on AI, which is very interesting because I'm guessing different fields have different formulas.
We put it in a chart. We can see that actually copper price is actually 4 months ahead of whatever that we are seeing in the demand for electronic devices. Right now, since we are talking about EV just now, we know that Elon Musk has a partnership with Trump. So we'll see what happens then.
Welcome to the DXpert Podcast, where we will be discussing our recent market and finance-related topics. Now, today we will be talking on a bit of some exciting topics, AI and EVs. We'll also go in a bit on copper and also the upcoming US elections. So let's get into it. With everyone jumping on AI-powered EVs, companies like NVIDIA, TSMC, ARM are seeing some serious gains. Now, NVIDIA stocks in itself has surged over 130% this year. We've all seen the headlines, but what's the real deal from an investment standpoint? Will this trend continue? Is now the right time to invest in semiconductors?
I think you forgot to introduce yourself. And she's Janu, I'm Jun. Hi, everyone. Okay, back to the question. Right. So, yes, the market has been rising very quickly, and thanks to AI, of course. So right now, almost the entire sector is being lifted up by AI alone. And of course, previously we had different trends. So previously we had EV is the one that is bringing up. Then also at some point in time we have crypto that is bringing up the entire market. Then right now we have AI. We have AI, right? So it has been going up for a long time. There's no pullback. We have not seen a significant pullback, especially with NVIDIA, especially with some of the Magnificent Seven. But of course, some of them has been staying high and some of them has started to come down. So for instance, the Tesla and AMD has not been rising. It has been going sideways for now. Of course, because their chips hasn't catch up with NVIDIA yet. So if we were to look at the entire sector, the technology sector, right now, the forward PE for this sector is about 25 times, but their forward PE growth is actually less than 20%, right? And if you were to compare the same sector for emerging markets, is actually the opposite. Like their forward PE is less than 25 times, but their forward PE growth is more than 20%. So just by saying this, you know where the opportunity are in the next few months or the next few quarters. So you can look at those segments. Some of the countries that still undervalued comparing to the US or the Eurozone, it will be China and even Malaysia actually, because Malaysia is one of the biggest semiconductor supplier for the world, right?
Okay. Well, and it's no doubt that AI stocks are increasingly capturing investor interest, right? So, important question, especially for our viewers. I'm sure they want to know this. In your expert opinion, which companies in the sector do you consider most promising?
Yeah, if I were to go back to the US, because I'm pretty sure most of us are trading the US market, even though no matter where you are, right? There are actually a few sectors that we can look through. So one of it is utilities. As we know, a lot of these AI stories that we are listening is due to this data. I have a list here, there's a report from Bloomberg. So Malaysia is the first one, then Japan is ranked second, then China third, Australia fourth, and US fifth, right? So that's for the utility segment. And usually these companies, they pay very good dividend because who doesn't need electricity, right?
Yeah.
So even without data centers, they are still paying good. With data centers, even better, right?
So in a way, you're kind of telling investors to also look at the bigger picture rather than just, focus on AI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because everyone is so focused on AI. So of course their valuation will be quite high, right? Because people just buy in without considering valuations.
True.
And then all these other sectors get abandoned, like somehow. But of course, the market will always pick up. So with the recent trend in utilities that we can see, the market is waking up to that side. And besides data centers is made up of a lot of different segments, right? So there's the GPU that we are very familiar with. So of course, which is why also NVIDIA and AMD is always in the news, right? So NVIDIA, they have their HGX 100 and HGX 200 is like a gigantic GPU that is for commercial purpose, for enterprise purposes. So all these large GPUs, they need to communicate with each other, right? Yeah. So it's like one GPU is like one brain, and another set of GPU is another brain. So all these different brains need to communicate with each other, right? Which is why in the most recent earning reports, Broadcom is one of the companies that makes switches, right? In AI networking. So in networking, there's these switches. So what these switches does is that it allows all these things, all these different GPUs or all these brains, large computers, to communicate with one another. Like our brain, we have like neuron, we have neurons, we have synapses, and then we have different parts of our brains. So each of these need to communicate with one another. So this is where Broadcom comes in, right? And of course, it reflects in their earnings. Then another company is also Arista Network. So they are also one of the company that would benefit in this. Yeah. So there's also another segment in this is that we know that Apple WWDC just happens, right? Of course, Apple released a new software, a new OS. It's called iOS 18. So in iOS 18, there's a lot of new AI features, right? But all these AI features, you can only run it in Apple A17 Pro chip.
Oh, okay.
But all this chip, right? There's 1 billion iPhones that is installed throughout the whole world.
Okay.
So there's like 90% of these iPhones couldn't run their AI features because A17 Pro chip is not installed in that iPhone.
Meaning that 90% of iPhone users or Apple users wouldn't get these features at all?
Yeah, because they can't use it in their phone. So what is the phone that can be used is only iPhone 15, right? Because iPhone 15 has that chip. So but the install base for iPhone 15 is less than 10%. So if you want to use AI features on your phone,
I have to get a new phone.
yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Got you.
So in other words, besides that A17 Pro chip, you also need another chip to run your AI in the phone, right? Because right now, what we know is that, okay, if let's say you were to ask ChatGPT something, right? Okay, let's say, what's the weather today, right?
Okay.
ChatGPT is going to send your question all the way to the data center and send it back and send an answer back to you, right? Now, Apple is getting rid of this
system,
this whole process. So everything will be in your iPhone, will be run in your iPhone, right?
So does that mean we'll be getting responses and answers much faster?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, because you don't have to wait for a network. Sometimes network there's a delay. Sometimes your connection breaks. You know. Yeah. So even more complicated features like iOS 18 has a new calculator app. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's amazing about that app?
It will actually identify formulas that you are using.
Yes.
Which is very interesting because I'm guessing different fields have different formulas. If you're engineering, if you're, an accountant, it's all different formulas. So you're saying that the new AI can actually
it can actually calculate for you immediately when you are writing your formula, because like usually when we are calculating something, we will write on the whiteboard or we will write on our tab, or our iPad. That's where we are writing. But right now AI is gonna recognize what you are writing and calculate the answer for you immediately. Yeah, it can even draw graphs for you.
Oh, wow.
You know what? I used to study math and engineering. It was so troublesome because I need to use a third-party app.
Yeah.
It's called Wolfram Alpha. There's of course other app as well.
Yeah.
So we need to write that formula into Wolfram Alpha, and then it will generate a graph for us. Right? Why it's so important is because sometimes you can't imagine what that equation actually means.
Yeah.
So if let's say the app can generate a visual, because we are visual animals, right? So if we see something, we remember it better.
Yeah, we will understand it better as
Yes,
well.
exactly. So this calculator app, although it's called calculator, but it's something is so amazing. Yeah.
It sounds amazing. I guess, it's also time to invest in Apple stocks.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you need to run all this, right, you also need a short memory in your phone. So that chip is called a DRAM.
Okay.
Right? So like right now, if I want to call you, right, I will recall your phone number. But after a few minutes, I don't need it anymore. So I'm going to delete from my brain, right? So this DRAM is going to do this, right? So if let's say I were to write an equation in that in the calculator app, then let's say the iPad or the iPhone is going to remember that equation or whatever that you have written in that DRAM.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's something that is new and if everyone were to upgrade their phones, no matter it's iPhone or any other phone as well.
Yeah.
So this DRAM is something that is not available in the older phones. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's another upgrade where the demand will be there. Yeah. So some of the companies that is doing this are Micron. There's also SK Hynix. There's also Samsung. Right now, their HBM chips are for data centers, but we have also this DRAM that will be installed in individual phones as well. So even if data centers were to slow down, like your HBM chips demand is to slow down because of data centers are getting matured, but there's a new demand side for this. Yeah. So just to summarize some of the points that I've said, so it's utilities, then there's AI networks.
Yeah.
Well, basically switches. Then there's this DRAM.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of things that you can invest in, eh? Okay. Well, switching the topic a little. Now, given the importance of copper in like semiconductors and EVs, how do you see this impacting the demand and price of copper? And could a copper crunch become a threat for the EV and AI revolution?
Copper is always one of the metals that reflects the economy, right? Because we use copper in a lot of things.
Yeah.
So if there's a high demand for copper, the price will go up, of course. Well, simple economics, right?
Yeah.
So supply and demand. But it also means that the economy is doing well, right? But since COVID, we have that EV hype, right? That EV story before AI.
Yeah.
So during that time, copper price was very much correlated with EV. But right now, of course, we know that EV is not doing well anymore. Like your Tesla is not doing well. Their second-hand price is not doing well as well. And Tesla is cutting car prices.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of other EV companies are either not doing well or they have started to go bankrupt, right? 2020, 2021, copper prices was following EV. But right now, since it's slowing down, but copper prices is still staying high. And thanks to AI, and also all the other computers, all the other electronic devices
that needs copper.
Yes, that needs copper. Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, prices is following that, and if we were to put copper price and electronic devices, the trend together, we put it in a chart, we can see that actually copper price is actually 4 months ahead of whatever that we are seeing in the demand for electronic devices.
Okay, 4 months exactly.
Yeah, 4 months exactly. So right now we can see that copper prices has a small spike, which indicates something, but then also there's a large drop after that
Ooh,
spike.
okay.
So something is gonna happen,
But we don't know what.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Maybe the insiders know something, but of course I'm not insider.
Okay, we
I don't
shall
work in
see.
the industry.
We shall wait 4 months to see.
more news is gonna come out, so
Yeah.
you will know later.
Okay, well, lastly, the upcoming US election is poised to have significant impacts on the financial market. And as an analyst, what potential effects should we be preparing for? And is there any sectors you believe will be most affected by the upcoming election?
Well, I think we're gonna make a election episode later, because election is still many months away.
Yeah.
So most likely there will be a lot of more collaborations and news that is gonna come out later. It's best that we do it nearer to election.
Okay.
But anyway, right now, since we are talking about EV just now, we know that Elon Musk has a partnership with Trump. So we'll see what happens then.
Okay.
It also
okay.
indicates something.
Okay.
We know that Tesla has got the green light in China to run their FSD, but in the US is still not approved yet. So
I guess we shall see. That's
Yes,
a
we
little
shall see.
teaser that he gave us there. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Remember, the future is uncertain, but hopefully we've equipped you with enough insights to navigate these interesting economic times. And don't forget to subscribe and follow to our podcast channels. And if you have any questions or thoughts that you would like to share, do leave a comment below. Thank you.
see you.